to a new video. Subject for this one is a Dinky Austin wagon numbered 30J. They produced this little beauty from 1950 to about 1954 when it was renumbered as the 412. Originally produced in just blue and brown. This one's been severely overpainted, but all things considered, for a 70-year-old toy, not in bad nick. Tyres have had their day, paint's worn off. It's obviously had an attempt to repaint, and judging by what you can see from the original interior, this was likely a brown variant. Did manage to find out that this little truck sold for 2 shillings and 4pence when it was new, which is about 12 pence in current UK coin. We're around about 14 cents in euro and US dollars. Down to the dismantling now. This wheel was already loose from, I think, its previous being dismantled when it was overpainted. I had drilled the rivet out on the bottom here, but not particularly well, so I'm having to resort to a little bit of brute force here. I hadn't drilled enough of the. I drilled the depth, but I hadn't drilled enough of the base out. So, brute force and ignorance. I'm going to wind up using the sprue cutters that, as I've said before, get used for everything bar cutting sprues. Hence the rather poor condition the blades are in. Well, I finished the dismantle, stripped and primered, and I'm now putting on what's the main colour of the body on the truck, which is a Pro Colour leaf green. Quite a nice colour, I thought. And then, as you can see, I've gone on and done the chassis in a black, and I've changed the colour of the front and rear mudguards to a nitro colour, which is forest green, a rather darker colour. And I'm just filling in what I perceive to be the galvanised kind of brackets and hinges on the sideboards and tailgate. Just using model air, Vallejo model air on this one. It's nice thin paint. It's already reduced for airbrushing, so goes on nice and flat and even. And a round brush here. You don't, in my experience, have to necessarily buy these kind of tiny little brushes with what seems to be 3 or 4 hairs in the end for this kind of work. If you take your time, take it steady, you'll get where you want to go with a relatively inexpensive brush. I've been always pretty satisfied with the finish that I've managed to achieve with them. Just the straps on the diesel tank here, door handles. Nothing too elaborate. I'm not going for a high chrome finish on this one here. I'm kind of thinking commercial vehicle, circa 1950. No need to go over the top with ultra bright chrome on it. Again, I've tried to give the load area a kind of a mixture of scrapes and shakes. Picking up the headlights. Leaving the back of the headlight bowls in the original colour. I'm just pondering here now whether to do the radiator shell. So I'm doing the hood ornament and a bit of silver. And then picking up the edges on the radiator shell with the silver too. I'm going to fill all the slots and veins in. I think they actually look a little better if they match the rest of the body colour. Don't want to be overwhelmed with silver on the front of the vehicle. You wouldn't tell, but I have sped the footage up here slightly, which just gives you some idea of why my work rate isn't as high as it might be. I do paint rather slowly. And we've made some stickers here for the side. I've decided to do this in the livery of the local brewery, John Smith's. I know that the modern livery is yellow writing, but I decided as this was a 1951, we'd be a little bit more subdued and going with a nice black one. So I printed these ones off myself. Again, nothing too elaborate. Just selected a nice font in paint, something that looks similar to the livery that I could find on the internet, and printed them out. Obviously, just got to cut them to size. Bit of delicate scissor work from me here. Using the micro sol that softens the plastic of the decals up a little bit, because I want them to take the shape of the slats in the woodwork and the hinges. So I'm putting the base of the Decosol down here while the decal is bobbing up and down in the water, and it'll help the decal slide into position and then soften it up to take the shape when I apply it in a moment. If you're wondering why the absence of music in the recent videos that I've been doing, so I'm so tired of getting YouTube flagging up copyright infringements on music, even though I pay for the music that I use via the software contract that I've got. So I've just decided to give up on it because it's just so irritating. And if you try and clip it out afterwards, I've found to my bitter experience that you lose half of your content. So hence it's a little bit quiet on the Western Front, so to speak. So I've got her on, it's dropped on nicely in place, just trying to dry up a bit of the surplus here now with a Q-tip. Just starting to get it to work around the edge of the shape in the bodywork. Just gently rolling it out. You can't be too careful with these decals because they are rather flimsy and delicate. And if you do apply any undue pressure, there's a good chance you'll either remove the writing or they'll split or rip. The ones you print yourself I find are a little bit more durable, but I've bought one or two from different retailers and had them come to pieces on me while I've been in the throes of applying them, which is a bit disappointing because A, you haven't got another one, and B, you kind of they stick where you don't want them to stick, and you wind up with pieces all over your job. Very disappointing. So just the logo to go on the door now. I've already applied a bit of micro sol to the door. Give me a bit of slipability. I think that's fairly in line. Just roll it over and check against the other side. Yep, seems okay. Tried it out a bit with the Q-tip, just pressing it down and making sure it's firm. And a quick roll over to check. Happy enough with that. Time to think about putting some wheels on. So if you're wondering why I'm giving you a nice shot of this pink vice, and more to the point why it's pink, a long time ago I used to paint TARDISes for Doctor Who fans, and they were very fond of pink TARDISes. And what else can you do when you've got an airbrush full of pink paint because you've mixed too much? So I'm just pushing the axle right the way through there and refitting the wheel. As I say, this is a thing you don't see me do too often because I'm not too fond of swinging hammers around freshly painted cars. So if I can possibly avoid it, that's what I'll do. Got my thumb in the way there to protect the paintwork because I can always get a new thumbnail. I've just noticed that the camera is attached to the table that I'm tapping, so the camera is jumping up and down in sync with the hammer blows. Well, there you go. That's one for the blooper reel at Christmas, I think. And another reason why you don't see me doing too much hammering of axles on video. So I pop some nice new tyres on now. I think she deserves it after nearly 70 years in her original shoes. Just drop the last one on now. A little bit softer than the crispy critters I took off at the beginning. Unsurprisingly, it's rolling quite nicely. So all that remains to do is to put it on the turntable for you to have a look. And here she is in a finished livery. The main body of the vehicle is being painted in Pro Colour grass green. The mudguards front and rear are finished in a nitro forest green. We obviously silvered in all the galvanised bits on the hinges and axle straps and so on and so forth. The little containers on the back, the barrels, they're from a company called BT Models, 176 scale, and what I presume to be for the model railway enthusiasts. I think they make a nice little prop on this, set it off quite well. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. If you're watching for the first time, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out an awful lot. I've been Hellboy59. Thanks for watching and goodbye.